Hello, gentle viewers. This is Avindian, welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 21. After our very successful first season with the Cleveland Four Cities, in which we won the World Series, I got screwed out of Manager of the Year in favor of a guy who went 13-19 because the game didn't know which team I should be associated with. So, new rule, because I want my damn trophies, I'm gonna go ahead and change after the awards are handed out, if it happens again, because this is absurd. I'm the Manager of the Year. Dick McBride, your first name is right. You know you're not very good. I hope something horrible baseball-related happens to you. You went 13-20, 13-19. You don't deserve a damn thing. But it's okay. I'm not bitter. I'm extremely bitter. But I'm not bitter. We did get a bunch of awards thanks to taking over Boston. We get credit for Levi Meyerly being the MVP and Rookie of the Year. And we get a few other things. I did advance time a little bit and then realized I made a grievous error. And I'm correcting that now. So we have an expansion coming. We have two new teams, the Washington Nationals and the Brooklyn Eckfords. And we're getting ready to submit our protection list. And I immediately noticed that the default is no auto protect. This is terrible. And let me tell you why it's terrible. Because if we don't put on auto protect with people with less than a year, when we draft players, which happens before the expansion draft, we won't get to keep them. They'll just instantly get taken by another team. And that's silly. So I'm turning on this rule, and I'm now going to turn off commissioner mode. I already did. Beautiful. So, I am very bitter. Let me assure you of my bitterness. But I'm going to be the bigger man, and I'm going to continue. I'm basically getting punished for a 6-26 record that I did not earn. But it's fine. Let's talk about what we do have. We have 4 outstanding hitters, led by Levi Meyerly's absurd 12 home runs. My word. 12. The defense of Mike McGeary, the competency of George Bechtel, Gat Stiers, another fine hitting machine, and last but certainly not least, our pitcher, Riney Walters, who also plays a pretty good right field, and is indeed a pretty solid hitter, if also terrible pitcher. We have to figure out what to do with him. And I don't know the answer to that yet. We are in a stage in baseball history where teams would select players based almost purely on word of mouth and watching Sandlot games and just people who knew people. It is important to remember, this is very much a game in its infancy. The American practice of baseball in a professional sense apocryphally dates to the Civil War, but in reality, it's not much before that. So this is very much not a time where there's a lot of professional baseball players. And holy shit, some of these players are terrible. Henry Burroughs, I don't want you within a country mile of my team ever again. Yikes. We're going to have to fix that for sure. But in OOTP, it's really hard to do that. So what they've done instead is basically instituted the amateur draft almost 100 years before it actually was. I believe the first amateur draft was in 1965. So that's one of our ways to get new players. Because the reserve clause exists, which means every player has a constantly renewing 1-year contract. Just keeps renewing over and over again until we release them or until we trade them. So that is a thing we'll need to keep in mind. It means we won't lose good talent, but it also means it's hard to gain new talent through anything other than the draft. So we're going to have to work on that. I've got a mediocre coaching staff, but at least they're cheap, I guess. The owner has decided to set the scouting budget because he's a jerk. But he's spending a lot of money on it, so that's good. And the owner is doing the same. He's spending more money than is necessary, though, so I do appreciate that. We need a bunch of things, to be honest with you. We need a competent starting pitcher. Frank Fleet is not it. Can I get literally anything from anybody in exchange for this fine fellow? A lot of people really like Frank Fleet, apparently. Why? Like, this honestly seems like flat highway robbery to get, like, Chick Fulmer. But hey, I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna question it. If you're willing to be this silly and hand me an outstanding shortstop for basically nothing. Yes, by all means have Frank Fleet. What? Why? What about him would anybody ever want? I don't know. I'm not going to question it. If the jerk who took over after I left is willing to make this, done. Chicky boy, you're playing shortstop. I need to put him on the roster. That's lovely. Henry Burroughs, I appreciate that you're okay at several positions. You will never touch shortstop again in your entire existence as a baseball player. And in fact, I would actually not mind trading you if I can get someone who's better. I really can't, but that is not terrible. Oh no, I'm going to lose Chick Fulmer. Oh no, he counts as protected. Oh, thank goodness. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, that was an easy decision for me. I don't care how much money Chick Fulmer makes. He's worth every cent. Brilliant. Let us go ahead and advance to the draft. Now, what we desperately need is a pitcher. If anything else will keep us winning, it's pitching. Now, the downside is it doesn't look like there's all that many very good pitchers, but hopefully we'll find something. Other than that, other positions we could improve at. Center field is a good candidate. First base, second base. We do still pick first overall, which is lovely. I'm certainly not going to complain about that. So I get my choice of any pitcher that I see fit. So let me look at pitchers. And I want to know who is the very best pitcher that I could have. It's looking like Jim Britt. And I know he's only 15. But he is by far better than the pitcher we have right now. In real life, he pitched a whole bunch of innings as a young lad. And then it looks like he just threw lots and lots of innings. Done. Jim Britt, welcome to the major leagues. And then I'm also going to draft the inventor of the curveball, Candy Cummings, just so that we have another pitcher in case something happens. Although, Who else is left in this draft? Not really anybody that's, like, outstanding. It's mostly players who aren't very good. Now, this could be entirely based on my scout, who isn't very good either. But yeah, there's not a lot here that indicates to me that there's anybody all that special. I could draft Tim Murnane just because we could use an upgrade at first base. And then maybe Jim Hall. No, he's not very good at second. It's fine. I don't have to turn the team around in one season. I'm going to take Denny Clare as a second baseman. And sure, Holly Hollingshead. Oh, you don't actually want to play. That's fine. I'll take this. I'll just let my AI draft. There's only 29 people left. So there we go. Like to negotiate with Jim Britt. You can have all the money. And I'm just going to sign everyone else for peanuts. Now the expansion draft starts, and I'm just going to go ahead and start it and then sim the whole thing. I don't care about that because it's not my team. And we did lose quite a few players, and I did anticipate this happening. So this means that a lot of people that we drafted are going to have to play in the majors this season. Which is completely fine. It's just going to make it a little bit harder for us. Are there any free agents? There probably aren't. Yeah, there aren't any. There won't be any in the Rule 5 draft. I can already confirm that with you. I know I have an embarrassment of pitching riches. Which is kind of yikes, but okay. Yeah, there's literally nobody in the Rule 5 draft. Everyone gets promoted to the Major League roster. Absolutely everyone. We have a baseball team, ladies and gentlemen. We have an actual baseball team. It's not a very good one in some places, but we have one. And isn't that really what matters? It's not, but we're going to say that it is. We're going to sim up to spring training. He has decreased my budget, but increased my draft budget. That's fun. Player development, Riney Walters got a little better, and Gat Stiers got a tiny bit worse. But Chick Fulmer got better, which is a beautiful thing. We're going to sim up to spring training, and then I'm going to tell everybody, you know what, guys? I'm just going to set my own roster. It would be lazy for me to not do it. Let's start with a pitching staff. We're still in the era of one-man rotation, so Jim Britt, I hope you're ready. And then Riney Walters, I want you to be the stopper. No, I don't. I'm going to put you both as emergency starters so that you only pitch if there's an injury. I'm actually going to send O'Rourke to the minors where he can work on pitching. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not that worried about it. Okay. Now, Jim Britt's downside is he's a pretty terrible hitter. So we're going to leave a space in the 9th placed hitter. But who is good at hitting, I hear you asking? Levi Meyerly is my 3rd hitter. I know he's a terrible 3rd baseman, and I also don't care. Because he's such a good hitter. Our next hitter is going to be... who's really good at getting on base? George Bechtel. You are now my leadoff hitter. And then Mike McGeary is going to hit 2nd. Hitting cleanup is right fielder Gat Stiers. Hitting 5th will be Chick Fulmer. Tim Mermain will hit 6th. And then we need, what, center field and a 2nd, right? Now, we don't have a good center fielder. This does vex me somewhat. This actually vexes me quite a lot. And that's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but we don't have an alternative. And there we go. I'm actually going to go ahead and make Riney Walters a pinch hitter. I'm good with that. And then go ahead and copy these, and then we will set it for against left-handed pitching as well. There we go. Pitching is set, lineup is set. We are good to do some spring training. Oh, good. Some people have improved a good bit, like Jim Britt, who actually throws 90 miles an hour, which is pretty crazy for this time in history. I do like that. Opening day. Some player development. Generally, it's players getting a little bit worse. That's fine. Top 100 prospects. Jim Britt, number 3. And we still don't have anywhere near a full schedule yet. That's still going to take us a couple of seasons to get a proper length schedule. But it is going to be longer than last season's schedule, I think. So let's go ahead and simulate one full calendar month. One of my pitchers has a bad back. He'll live with it. And I need to remember to shut off scouting reports. So first of all, one very cool thing has happened. My dude, Jim Britt, has already thrown his first shutout, which I enjoy quite a lot. And we scored 16 runs. This is last season's world champions. They made 10 errors. I only made 4. Look at that. A 9-inning, 9-hitter. Poor Al Spalding is just victimized by terrible defense. I have a little bit of sympathy for him, but not very much. And Levi Meyerly is really good at hitting baseballs. Chick Fulmer's a tiny bit worse. Jim Britt's a little bit worse. And Gat Stiers is a little bit worse. Bobby Matthews won that award, but Jim Britt is Rookie of the Month. And I'm betting a lot of these games we're losing is going to be due to defense. Yeah, Hubble made 2 errors. Chick Fulmer made 4. That's just the way that defenses were at this point in history, is that they tended to make lots of errors. It is what it is. It's part of the price of doing business. As I mentioned in the last episode, it's largely due to gloves being really tiny, and that will get better with time. For sure. I'm going to sim another month. We're kind of bouncing around a bit. I'm not surprised about that. We have a long way to go before we have a truly exceptional offensive performance. Jim O'Rourke is pretty good at baseball, it turns out. It seems weird to say that I don't care about player development, but I really don't, because we're at the point in our game where I just have to play players and hope they figure it out. There's not really much else I can do about it. I can maybe juggle the lineup a bit, but to be honest with you, Philadelphia's off to such a hot start. I just don't think there's much we can do about it. Jim Brett is 10-10. He's doing what we're asking of him. He's just getting victimized by the fact that his defense is god-awful. That is just the worst. I mean, we have the 4th best defense, but our team as a whole is pretty bad at it. So Denny Clare's pretty bad. We're going to want to upgrade at second base, I think. I think that is a thing we should do. Players do seem to be feuding. We're probably going to have to hire some new coaches and fix that. I don't really care about the minor league, so I'm just going to let everybody stay there, and then I'm just going to replace anyone that's leaving here. That's fine. Ben Hadley, look, you helped develop Levi Meyerly. I think that's earned you some respect and a chance to continue your good work. I think I'm willing to give you an extension for that. And we will get a new pitching coach, unless he gets along really super well with Jim Britt, which he doesn't. We can probably do better than that. We've already doubled our win total from last season, though. That goes to show you how awesome I am. We had the #1 vote getter in Levi Meyerly. Very nice. Who else from Boston made the just? Jim Britt. Very nice. Mike McGeary. George Bechtel. Gat Stiers. Good stuff. Poor Levi Meyerly. He's only hit 2 home runs this season. What a loser. I'm kidding. Notice we are playing a full 60 games this season, so that's going to affect things as well. Why does Al Spalding look so much worse? He's only started 12 games? Why? Why would you take last year's Cy Young Award winner and then not start him again? Because you really want Frank Fleet. Okay, dude. That's real dumb. And that's going to cost you. Whatever, mate. I'm not going to do the home run challenge. I did it last time round. A personal message. Want an upgrade at second base. Meh. I did find a top 10 prospect. Oh, really? Does it not count because you suck? Yeah, it doesn't count because you suck. Alright, friends. I'm going to make a bold move. Hey, Miley won the home run derby. Nice. I see very little reason to keep Ronnie Walters on this team. He's a really good relief pitcher, and I like that, but he's also a luxury that I don't really need. If I can trade an upgrade at a position that we're terrible at, like second base or center field, we have to do it. We have Count Sensendorfer. That's a fun name. Harry Berthong. Bring old Harry right back. I don't see why, though. John Hatfield. Gimme, 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 gimme. Oh my goodness. We went from second base being a dumpster fire to a pretty clear strength of the team. Like, John Hatfield is legitimately a very solid hitter up and down. Goodbye, Denny Clare. I hope you didn't enjoy playing second base all that much, because you'll never do it again. Now, let's face it, this is not likely to make much of a movement because Philadelphia is off to such a great start here. But we're already in a much better position than we were this time last season. Let's go ahead and go up to roster expansion. I've got the trade that I wanted. Hatfield got a tiny bit worse. Clear got a tiny bit better. Other people jumped around in different places, and this is all fine. We're making a bit of a push. We truly are making it a bit of a push. Jim Britt's pitching extremely well, and if he had even a competent defense behind him, I'm willing to bet that he would be legendary. Guys, we're only 3 games out of first. Look how much just getting a competent pitcher changes things. And it really does change things quite a lot. Now, third place is hardly a guarantee. But I pick up a good center fielder, maybe a couple of young players, and we can make this into a pretty reasonable dynasty, actually. Some changes there. Friends, this is pretty crazy, actually, right? I think it's crazy. We're still technically just barely in the hunt. If we can put together a winning streak and get lucky... Ah, damn it. C'est la vie. Guys, we took the worst team in the majors. And we only missed the playoffs by 4 games. That's pretty crazy. That's extremely crazy. And let's not forget the team that won the World Series last year is now terrible because they don't know how to use their pitcher. Like, Al Spalding should pitch every inning for the rest of his life. And that's what you would need to have a truly effective team. But he didn't. And that's what it is. Meanwhile, here in Boston, we have ridiculous numbers of home runs, like 5. Pretty good offense up and down the lineup, except for maybe center field and maybe first base. Center field is my #1 area of concern. If we can address center field, I think we're going to see a significant improvement in our team next year. Since I am keeping this team next year, I'm going to go ahead and end the playoffs, and we'll see who won the World Series. It was Washington. Good for the Olympics. I got the home run champion. I've got a new owner who's pretty happy. Need to pick a new pitching coach, and that's totally fine. And we've got 3 new firings. So there we go. Our new owner is... what's his deal? He's very tolerant, but he wants to save money. That's fine. We need a power hitter, and maybe we can get a power-hitting center fielder, which would kill 2 birds with 1 stone. But yeah, that was a very successful season. Very successful indeed. And if we can trade intelligently and acquire good players, we can really make some waves. Tim Murnane playing at center field wouldn't be a terrible idea. Let's check out our stats for this season. If we go by WAR, we have several outstanding players and some that are not as good. Levi Meyerly is better. He did hit fewer home runs, but we can't hold that against him. We have one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball, who led the league in wins, strikeouts, innings pitched. If he'd led the league in ERA, he would have got a triple crown. Such a good pitcher. We are most definitely keeping him around. But yeah, we're in a good spot, actually. If we can fill a couple of holes and just let nature take its course for some of our opponents, we could see some good stuff. We could see some real good stuff. And friends, I am here for that. But until next time, this has been Avindian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.